Have you ever heard of a case anywhere in the world where two adults are stopped from getting married by the police? This is exactly what is happening in Uttar Pradesh these days, as a measure against interfaith marriages targeting the minorities. Well, I am JOVIN TAINUNNEM from class 12 of Don Bosco Higher Secondary School, and it is an honor to get this time and present my thoughts on the theme, Intolerant India, the Case of Minorities. Even amid loud assertions that India is an impeccably tolerant country, there might be some people who argue that it has always been intolerant. The grave concern is that this might seem to be true, and as a secular country, it is already an arguably confusing statement since long gone. How is it that India is intolerant towards minorities? The preamble to our constitution declares India to be a secular, democratic, and republic country. And this denotes the positive concept of equal treatment and respect for all religions. Article 29 of the Indian Constitution protects the interests of minorities, and Article 15 mandates that no discrimination be done on the grounds of religion, race, caste, place of birth, or any of them. These are strong backdrop to the formation of our country. However, in recent years, persecution of minorities, religion and communal motivated violence in the form of mob lynching, vandalism, attacks on places of worship, and forced conversion has been rampant in Hindu-dominated region of the country. This gives us a visible sign of intolerance of the administration of India, where and when the ruling party is religious biased. The space for minorities, particularly the Muslims and the tribal population in Northeast India, have shrunk. Atrocities meted on Dalits and persons of religious minority have often managed to color a space in national news, while some news agencies are either threatened or shut down when information on the mentioned issues were put to public notice. And this includes a number of journalists and reporters too. All the while, the law enforcement has often been overridden by the panchayats and local politicians, and they chose to turn in fear of repercussions and facing the wrath of the majority. To add to the severity, high-level government officials have made statements that are spiteful to minorities. Unsurprisingly, BJP leaders and affiliated groups have long considered and portrayed minority communities to be a threat to national security and the Hindu way of life. All these have in turn motivated Hindu nationalists to indulge in violence even on the streets, and only some parts of these incidents were broadcasted through media. Issues of intolerance towards minorities create a sense of, I don't belong here. The preamble and the constitution looks fair on paper, indeed a great secular, democratic and republic country. But what if the freedom of speech and expression, the freedom of religion, and the essence of the fundamental rights are degrading day by day, which are unseen and unwritten on paper and wiped off from the media? The minority communities that experience the sense of, I don't belong here, also needs a reason to answer, how can I belong here? What has the government done to enforce the constitutional rights to practice and profess a new religion? Yes, in terms of upliftment and economic supports, the government has adopted various effective as well as ineffective means to uplift the minorities to a status where everyone can be equal. But what has the government done to effectively check the conditions and adversities faced by minorities? Economic upliftment packages are but ineffective and hollow if the minorities cannot enjoy their constitutional rights and has to conform to the religious practice and custom of the majority. It can therefore be concluded that India has become increasingly intolerant towards minorities. And as Meenakshi Ganguly of Human Rights Watch said, India's standing as a secular democracy is at serious risk unless the government rolls back discriminatory rules and policies and ensures justice for abuses against minorities. It is worth pondering and thinking how and why minorities in India are facing such discrimination and suffering from such mistreatments, whilst the country being the largest democracy in the world. Is it the government that governs us who's at fault? Or is it the ill mindset of the people that is to blame? This is a question we all must ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you, JOVIN.